Oh, have I flipped you?
No.
I ride around, I get it.
Down.
It's mine, I spit it.
Down.
It's mine, I spin it. I be telling them truth.
I do think Colin Kaepernick still wants to play. I do.
What did this tweet do to you, Acho? I'm gonna throw you off. This tweet did something to you.
It did. Okay,
there we go. That's the show. This show.
It did like something, but it did. This tweet made me go, huh? The reason it made me go, huh, is because I'm like, wait, Cap, you have now just exposed yourself potentially. Why do I say this?
Ooh.
Cap now said, look, where these receivers who trying to get this work, let's pull up. Problem, America. Colin Kaepernick has admitted he's been throwing to his team, right? He's been throwing to his guys. He's been throwing to his, but he wants to see real NFL receivers. But if Kaepernick sees real NFL receivers can see him. Ooh. And at this junction in time, we don't know how good Cap is. We see 8-second videos, and we run on social media, and I run on television saying, yo, you might as well give Cap a chance. He's got to be one of the best 96 quarterbacks in the NFL. 3 quarterbacks per roster, 32 teams on roster, 96. He's got to be one of the best 96. I still think he is. Yeah. Problem. What if one of these NFL receivers who actually know how good NFL quarterbacks are, even more than I, because I haven't been on a roster in 5 years. What if one of these NFL receivers come out and say, hey, Cap ain't got it, y'all.
Cap ain't it.
Now, all of a sudden, Cap, you just undermined what you've been working for. I can't snitch on you, Cap. I can't tell the world whether or not you look good. Your team won't snitch on you, Cap, because they won't tell the world whether or not you still look good or not. But if you bring one of these NFL receivers to work out with you, they might just snitch on you. Because say Cap starts working out with Antonio Brown and AB, who's still on his worldwide podcast tour. Say AB goes on one of these podcasts talking about, nah, he ain't got it. Say Cap starts working out with Tyler Lockett, a friend of mine. And Tyler Lockett, who I do not think would do this, he's a good dude, but if he's in an interview, I mean, I think he could still play. And we can infer through the hesitation of his answer that Cap ain't got it. I didn't love that chess move by Colin Kaepernick. I didn't love that chess move at all. Do I think he still wants to play? Yes. I think he thinks he still wants to play. But we're going to find out real quick if he does still want to play. And Cap needs to answer 3 questions for me. And I'm going to tell y'all what 3 questions after I hear from my brother Marcellus.
My man. Oh, we talking Cap now. It's my brother Marcellus, honorable my brother. Here we go. I'm glad you said chess move. I'm glad you said chess move because he's playing a game. But he doesn't want to play the game of football. But he's playing a game. And you just caught the first smell. I got this sense of smell that's insane. I could be anywhere. I'll be like, y'all smell that? And everyone in the crowd, it happens to me all the time. No. 1, 2, 3. Oh, what's that? Man, look, I'm not a hater. I just tell the truth too early. That's one of my superpowers. Let's talk about Colin Kaepernick right now. Oh, Colin Kaepernick wants to pull up on any random receiver out there that is running routes, professional level, right? He wants to pull up on a random. You know what's better than pulling up on a random receiver? A calculated move to pull up on a receiver you know. Let me talk about this, because what's better than random is calculated. Colin Kaepernick, you got a Rolodex. Colin Kaepernick, you got people on your phone that you can hit up right now, get some run with, and then put that video out there, right? But instead of doing that, you know what he wants to do? He wants us to be moved first before he makes his move. He wants to say, deprived of opportunity or deprived of really working with the guys out there. And that ain't how the game goes. If Colin Kaepernick just hit up his dogs, I'm sure that they're ready for those routes. But in 5 years, you haven't done that just yet? I wonder why. You know what football is saying right now to him? We're not going to question if you love us. But if you do love us, the game of football, you sure got a weird way of showing it. You ever been in that relationship? Like, I know you care, but you sure got a weird way of showing it. Oh, man, this dude. Let me start here, because I think I'm ahead of myself. We got here because Colin Kaepernick quit on the game of football. Let me tell y'all why he quit on the game of football. Because a lot of times we go to the blackballed in the settlement. He opted out of his contract with intel that they were about to cut him anyway. But me, I've been in that position before where they talking about they're going to cut me. Guess what I say? Cut me then. The opportunity's going to be the same. Now I know. I'm going to force your hand. Okay, he didn't do that. But when you opt out, and then in Seattle in 2017, and Seattle's like, yeah, we got Russell Wilson, so duh, you know why we brought you here. There's an opportunity to be a backup. Did he sign with Seattle? Did he take the opportunity to be a backup? Did you want to climb that hill of greatness once again? Nah, so you too good to be a backup. Interesting. Last time I checked, Taysom Hill's making $16.3 million a year, 20th of all quarterbacks, and he's a backup. You think you too good to be Taysom Hill plus? Come on, Colin Kaepernick. How you trying to get in this game? You ain't working with receivers for 5 years, or we haven't seen those videos. Now I did see a college video once, some guys who were trying to be prospects. I did see that. 2017, you're in Seattle, and now we're in a situation where you're trying to pull up to do what? Tyler Lockett responds, Seattle. Russell Wilson's gone from Seattle. Maybe this is all a play to just get back to Seattle. And now, because he won't have to necessarily be the backup, because who is their starting quarterback? Colin Kaepernick is raising his hand to play football. But I'm telling you, man, I think he's playing the game, but I don't think he wants to play the game of football.
If he does want to play the game of football, Kaepernick, I need Colin Kaepernick to answer 3 questions. The first, are you still taking a knee, and if so, why? The limiting reaction of Colin Kaepernick being in the NFL, first and foremost, was not his talent level, as we have discussed. 16 touchdowns, 4 interceptions his last year in the league. So it wasn't about talent. It was about taking a knee. So firstly, Colin Kaepernick, if you still want to play in the NFL, are you still taking a knee, and why? I would love if he would come out and clarify his stance on taking a knee. The second thing Colin Kaepernick would need to answer, if you compare the NFL to slavery, which I understand the hyperbolic comparison, but if you compare the NFL to slavery, then why would you want to be a part of or complicit in something in which you have compared to slavery? If you break up with your significant other, and while y'all are apart, you say being with you is like being enslaved, why in the world would you want to pursue a relationship with a person in which you just compared to being enslaved? Right. That's the second question Colin Kaepernick would need to answer. The third question Colin Kaepernick would need to answer, can you still play the game of football at a high level? Now, that question, to some degree, can be answered if he starts working out with high-level receivers. Work out with high-level receivers, even if Colin Kaepernick doesn't answer the question himself, a receiver will answer the question on his behalf. Just like you can be pro-vaccine and still think Kyrie Irving being able to watch a game in Barclays Center but not play is kind of weird, you can be pro-Colin Kaepernick and still ask yourself, well, Kaepernick, I'm for you, but if you compared the NFL to slavery, which you did in your Netflix documentary, Colin in Black and White, why in the world would you still want to play the game? Because that you just compared to slavery. Okay, do you want to play it because of the love of the game? Well, now I'm a little weary of that because it's a game in which you've called slavery, so you can't want to play it because of the love of the game. Do you want to play it for money? Hard-pressed to believe that because I've seen TV contracts. I've seen contracts from major premium networks. Colin Kaepernick, you've had a movie, doc, on a major premium network. So I'm hard-pressed to believe that you'd be making more money on the field than off the football field. So you can be pro-Kaepernick, as I am pro-Kaepernick, but still have a whole bunch of questions. And those questions Colin Kaepernick would need to answer if he doesn't.
Yes, we are there. He would have to answer those questions. I don't know aloud. I don't know if people really want to ask those questions. It's such a lightning rod conversation, such a third rail. It would probably be private at best. If y'all gonna have a workout with Colin Kaepernick, just make sure this time that you know where the workout is, the set time, and he shows up. Because last time, that didn't go so well for those out there. I'm joking, seriously. This is crazy. Colin Kaepernick compared the NFL to slavery, as you said. Actually, the comparison was more of like it's a plantation. Damn, you sure eager to get back to that plantation. Who is that eager to get back to the plantation? The same plantation, this is what I don't like. You're depicting the NFL experience, my childhood dream, and my childhood dream realized, as slavery in a plantation. Man, you know when I was out in the field, I guess, in that parking lot, it was full of millionaires and mansions. And guess what was so crazy about it? Most of them were black. So this is slavery, but the reward, like, it's just silly. He was lying then about the NFL, and he was lying for a different reason than right now. There should be no incentive, no ambition to go back to the NFL if what you said was actually true. So now you're going to be caught in that situation. A lot of times I hear the pushback when you talk about Colin Kaepernick. It's like, why doesn't he deserve opportunity? I'm like, because he didn't want an opportunity. When I went to Jacksonville my last 2 years, here's my contract. Here's my conversation. Marcellus, you can come in. We'll sign you to these terms. You got to compete to be the starter. Okay. I easily could have walked out of that meeting like, I'm too good. I've never been a backup since my first years, and I was behind Bruce Smith. I'm not going back to backup. I could have easily went that route, right? But I wanted it so bad I didn't go that route because I wanted it. Colin Kaepernick quit on the NFL and then found a way to make the storyline seem like that the NFL blackballed him.
When you say he quit, what do you mean? I'm hard-pressed to hear you say he quit on the NFL. Quitting is like I'm tapping out as if I just don't even want to do it anymore. I don't think that was the case.
Yeah, quitting is you don't want the opportunity presented. Now, in this position, beggars can't be choosy. Like, we regard you as this. Do you want it or not? You don't want it? Okay, that's fine. Retire, you can say that. If you want to tell your friends you retired prematurely, you can say that. We can say, well, we gave you something, you didn't want it, so you quit. Now, quitting doesn't mean it's a bad character move. It just means you didn't want what they offered. Now, we can get into Baltimore and the tweets. We can get to everything that looked like a sabotage, self-sabotage of opportunities, but I'm not going down there because then we start to get into he say. All I'm saying is when someone is bringing you in and saying, will you be a backup? And you're like, nope. Okay, well, what else can we talk about? You have a chance. Here is our olive branch. Will you take this? No. It's on you, bro. That changed into a lot of things. One thing I noticed, I grew up, I had to ride a bus a lot. Did you ride a bus a lot? All right, the RTD out here, LA people know what I'm talking about. We called it the rough, tough, and dirty. And there was always a moment, no matter what, you ran to that bus and you saw it there, kind of like the ice cream truck, and it took off, right? And I'm a nerd, I guess. I'm young, and I'm witnessing two responses to it. You missed the bus, right? Some people are at peace like me, because I'm like, the next bus is coming in 10 minutes, right? Next opportunity coming. I'm good. I'm great. You either missed the bus at peace, or there was the other people who were mad that the bus didn't stop for them. And I'm like, the bus is not supposed to stop for you. The NFL is not going to stop for you. The NFL going to keep going. Now, there's another opportunity coming your way, Colin Kaepernick, and that's what Baltimore was after Seattle. You got to get on. You got to get on the bus wherever you can, right? And it just seemed like he didn't want to do that. So, as we're going to talk this a little further next time, I guess he has 3 questions to answer from you. And from me, no questions to answer. Your actions speak louder than your words.